dun, dun, Make sure things is working. Things are working. My audio's muted. Okay. I'm back. Alright. So everybody, welcome back to Astrocats. I apologize. This took a little longer than I anticipated to come back and work on this, but life happens. And yes, I have been gaming, but it's sometimes you have one of those weeks that you just can't focus on what you want to get done. So I just kind of went ahead and just game just to kind of blow off some steam, and I worked out. As you can see, we have been fixing our YouTube page, so if you find us, please show us some love. Same thing goes with our Instagram and our Facebook page. Please show us some love. And as usual, thank you for Streambeats for always providing the music. Without them, I will have a super boring channel, so always show them some love. Alright, so today what I'm going to do is... Uh-oh, what happened? Okay, there it goes. Okay, sweet. Just making sure it's fine. Okay. So today what I'm going to do is, last time I was working on this, I was working on the kitchen. And there's a couple things. So this is part of a scene where Scully comes in and he's cooking some popcorn, some like Jiffy Pop type popcorn. And you can watch the previous video if you want to see what I'm talking about. And it's got like, this kitchen is like super gaudy. Like, think of like really nice. It's got these robotic arms that can move around. And it's got these little laser beams right here. So first I'm going to start by doing a lot of cleanup. So I'm going to put everything in a folder. I always like to keep my files nice and organized. It just kind of helps me down the line. And if I need to drop the opacity, I can do it to the whole group. I no longer need these grid lines. Maybe I do, but for right now I don't. Then I'm going to create a brand new line. And I'm going to go ahead and start sketching. And again, we're still kind of putting our Bible together. The next big project that I want to work on is putting our webpage together. Just time. Today I'm going to just do nothing but artwork today. I made sure I got all my adulting done yesterday. So today you're just probably going to see me draw a couple times today. There we go. So we already mentioned this before. Okay, now I don't want to make it too static. The only part about rotating your canvas, you have a hard time figuring out what's straightforward and what is to the side. Okay, this right here, we decided this is going to be a grandiose stove. Remember, anything going vertical and horizontal are not affected because this entire environment is in 1 point perspective. It's like a cutting board kind of deal. Man, that is an old-fashioned stove. It's I like to call them apartment stoves. They don't look as nice, they're not glass. But honestly, at the end of the day, I've used to own one of those. I don't, you get what you could get, no judgment. Okay. And I'm making sure right here, these lines, now that I have the ability to use this tool, I'm kind of straightening some of these features out. Because at first, I was just doing a rough sketch. By the way, happy Inktober. We're going to partake on that. I will not. Unfortunately, time is a luxury that is no longer just sparing. It's a sparing thing for me. So sadly, I will not be taking part there. To be quite honest, October is kind of like a stamina game. Um, I only know very few people that have been successful to do the entire thing. I just don't have the spare time. That's pretty much what I've come to learn. Yeah, but this is an alien kitchen. This could be anything hanging on the wall. There we go. So you got that. Right, I always kind of want to add like a couple little things, even though it will be a really well maintained kitchen. There's always some little features on there that belong to the staff or the crew, especially like really well worn, like instruments. There's always something. Maybe I should turn on these guidelines. Yeah, there we go. That gives me a better... There we go. That looks a lot better. At least to me it does. And by the way, if you are in Florida, I hope you're doing well. I am still trying to get a hold of some friends and family. I know they evacuated, but you know, it's one of those things I just want to make sure they're okay. Or if they need anything, because I might be able to ship them something. I mean, clearly I can't do anything much from Texas. They're in need of some like additional resources, you know. You never know. I've been through enough storms and hurricanes to tell you that it is like people don't realize how unreal it is to be in that situation where like your house is gone and you just lost everything. Like it's just something that happens in the news and you're like, it'll never happen to me. And you know, I've been through enough storms and natural disasters that I could tell you it's not an if, it's a when. So even I've been going through all of my documentation, legal documentation, making sure it's like, okay, where's my insurances? Where's if I die? Because you know there's a possibility, a natural storm, things can kill you. Okay, if that happens to me, you know what goes where? Who's gonna take care of what? Who's gonna take care of my pets if they survive? Stuff like that. And I was also listening to Susie Orman. You guys know that I'm huge into financing and stuff. And she had a fantastic podcast today talking about, it's called Are You Prepared? Now, but you got to keep in mind about Susie Osman. She, Orman or Osman? I think it's Orman. Anyway, but she mainly talks to her podcast to more elder listeners. People that are like in their 60s, 70s, that are about to retire or near retirement, or they have elder parents. They do have a lot of young listeners like myself, but she brings up a lot of fantastic points. And the one that she talked about, she talked about, you know, be prepared for the storm. It was a really good episode, and I will highly suggest listening to it if you get a chance. Mainly because I know what it's like, and you know, people think it's just a storm, not a big deal. And the amount of documentation you need for insurances alone, it's grossly just overwhelming. I just don't know how to describe it, because here you are, you lost everything, you're sitting what remains of your house, and then you know it's not just you, it's like hundreds and hundreds of people, and in some cases thousands. In Florida right now, it's hundreds of thousands of people. And suddenly, you know, they're asking you, hey, do you happen to have the receipt for that couch that you bought in like 15 years ago. So I got into the habit where I try to back up all of my information in drives, because again, just for that exact situation. And if I have a secure cloud-based system, then I also do that as well. Because again, you just never know. You never know. And insurances are insanely anal, about information so they can pay out. So like if you have, like let's say you have a family heirloom and it's like a Rolex watch. What type of watch? How old is it? What was the model? Stuff like that. And then like if you don't have the receipt, then you need to go online and try to find like a replacement price for that value of that object. And yeah, it's just absolute chaos, and you're already distraught. And yeah, so I tell people, I've been sharing that podcast with everybody today because some people think that I'm slightly paranoid sometimes, but it's like, it's not that I'm paranoid. It's just that, we all think that there's going to be somebody there to help you. But the reality is, if everybody's in the same situation, they're going to help themselves first. Then once they're established, then they're going to try to help somebody next. So like when it comes to like storms and hurricanes, I make sure I got my supplies. I'm self-sufficient. Like right now I'm in Texas. So, as you guys know, we had that, Wintergeddon. Last time I came, it got into the tens out here. It's really insane. So now I'm making sure that I have I'm starting to save non-perishables. So if I'm stuck in my house, I don't have to leave the house. I'm slowly accumulating stuff that I need just in case. I'm gonna probably start buying some bags of ice, salt, so that way I can keep my sidewalk from cracking. Little things you don't think about like shovels. A shovel would be great. Snow shovels. So I'm gonna start getting that early. Probably my next paycheck or so. So yeah. And it's good to always be prepared. Just even if you don't have everything you need, just have most of what you think you will need in the worst case scenario. Like, do you have a plan for obviously fire? There's not much you can do. So what I've been doing is I saved up for a fireproof safe, like a nice fireproof safe. So anything that I will not be able to physically carry with me, I can at least leave in there, and I know it will be okay. But like paperwork and stuff, I'll leave that in there as well. So all kinds of stuff, So prepare yourself, folks. Do not assume someone's gonna come to your rescue, because at the end of the day, they're not. And you're talking about a kid that grew up in the Caribbean, where Puerto Rico's a territory. It's not part of the great continent, the United States. And we're a U.S. territory, which means we don't get the same privileges that the States does if there's a natural disaster. So that has been ingrained to me where, here they'll get cities up and running, like no joke, within a few months to at least get the general, most of the general environment up and going. But back home, it could be years just to even get basic utilities back up. So yeah. And true story, my family's in Puerto Rico. None of them got hurt, thank goodness. But cancel. But still, that's now yet another round of mystery that they have to go through, and a lot of the natives are just living to the mainland. Like myself, I moved here when I was 12. I visited a couple times, and it's terrible. And I even met some folks now that are from PR that I work with, and they said the same thing. It's you can't pay me enough to move back home because it's so bad right now. Nothing works. Nothing's reliable. And I don't think people realize how good they have it here in the States. I really don't think they do. let's see. You can see I keep continuing going back to this vanishing point because that's where I want everything to lead. It's a 1-point perspective. Okay, and these right here are gonna be like, they're like these joints. So they're gonna be kind of like these arms, but the arms technically fold upward. So here's what I need to do. So if that's my main one, this is just for me for reference. Because remember, it's all in perspective, so everything falls in perspective. There we go. It's gonna be 4. Okay, we erase the lines going through. It gives it a sense of solid mass. Did the music stop? Gotta make sure. Nope, there it goes. Okay. I gotta be careful that the line weight is not too heavy that it distracts from everything else in the design. And again, I'm using a Clip Studio Pro. Mainly I just want Photoshop's drawing tools are becoming kind of a pain. Just haven't been very happy with what they've been outputting recently. And I know I'm not the only one that feels that way. What I'm doing is, because remember, anything vertical or horizontal, it's not affected. So this is pretty much where these two lined up with each other. And normally you would do this with light pencil, but I'm being lazy. I do it all in one layer. That's okay. And what we're going to be seeing is the inside of these arms right here. Remember, you want to give the illusion these are overlapping masses. And is this going to be perfect? Absolutely not. But it's just to give you a gist of the idea of what we're trying to produce. And I'm pretty sure that the line this will be refined and we actually go to full production. This is just me just pulling ideas and concepts out of my head. And right here you see and I'm still keeping that perspective, but instead of drawing it, I'm just eyeballing it. Remember, objects that are closer to you are going to be bigger, objects that are further away are going to be smaller. Okay, and now we can go ahead and erase these as well. You gotta be real careful. Okay, right there. Again, this is an alien kitchen. It could look whatever I feel like it. Okay, so right here now we have our wall. Okay, so I can simply go right here. There we go. Making sure that vanishing point is right. And we're gonna go ahead and erase this right here. And then we're gonna modify this right here. Like I said, I don't worry about it. When I'm doing rough sketches, I just need to lay out the concept. And I refine it as I go. Okay, sweet. So save it. Always save, kids. Always save. Alright, now right here we have like 2 baking trays, and then we also have like a baking oven. They're stacked on top of each other. You see them a lot in professional settings. So let's go ahead, and this would be remember, and this is now the floor. Okay, so that gives me pretty much a rough idea where my refrigeration is going to be, and everything else is just extra. I don't need this anymore. Okay, this is my halfway point, roughly. Okay, now this right here, remember, anything going vertical, horizontal will not be affected, but anything going at an angle will. And I mentioned this in the last video. We're talking about perspective, vanishing points, horizon line, all that fun stuff. At least giving you a gist of the idea. Okay, so these are huge. I gotta clean my band. Like, I wear this all the time, so I had to switch it between hands, which is okay. But yeah, you have to let your skin air out, otherwise you start getting like some funkiness. So I tend to swap it between both the hands, but I think today I'm gonna give it a good rubbing alcohol rub. So if there's any funk in there that might be growing, then I'll take care of that. Any bacteria. But yeah, I work out every day, so chances are there might be something funky brewing in my wristband. And I do clean it. That's where you clean it. That is huge. Yeah, so that kind of gives me where I need to go with my trays. And again, I'm not too worried about this excess information because I'm about to clean all this out. And does it feel redundant? Absolutely. Would I normally use more layer? Yes. Am I trying to be lazy? Yes. So it feels like a lot of extra work, but that's fine. And there is no right or wrong way to do this. Everybody's got their own techniques and methods. Again, I'm just kind of doing it the way that I feel works for me. Okay, sweet. So this right here, I'm gonna put a handle. This is the oven. These guys right here is a little different story. And I gotta be careful that I don't accidentally create a tangent line. That's what I created there by accident. Okay, come here. Okay, now this right here is a little interesting. So here's the horizontal line. So this right here is going to be flat. As we move down, we're going to see more of the items in the trays. But as we move up, we're going to start seeing more at the bottom of the trays. And I think I explained this last week, or last time I was sketching this madness. I'm gonna leave that alone for right now. I'll probably add the goods with color. I'm not gonna add them right now as we speak. Okay, there we go. Make sure that this is nice and clean. So they are within the plane. Okay, let's head up. Now right here, the arch. Okay, cool. And even though it is a rounded surface, there you go. It gives me the doorway. Okay, so far, I turned everything up. That's not too bad. Again, this is not meant to be like some crazy. Actually, I'm gonna leave this right there a little bit longer. It's not meant to be like some crazy like background drop. I purposely do these very quick, so it gives it kind of like a really loose like notebook paper sketch look. And you guys have seen this. I for the most part do these completely, just at a scratch, like just as fast as possible. Okay, so back here, what I really want to do back here is add like these three gaudy paintings of the main head chef. So those, I'll work on those separately. For right now, I'm just gonna do rectangles because I'm gonna add these in later on. Because I have not created them yet. It's some exquisite freaking frame. Okay, sweet. Alright, I gotta make sure I keep my phone on me. So I have an appointment today. I want to make sure I don't accidentally like miss it. Making sure my volume's up. beans. Alright, and and then right here I still need to add this, indicating that there's spacing between the roof and the bottom, because again the arms come out and then they just kind of go over and they collapse at the top. So that's pretty much what's happening right here. Oh my god, wake up, Anna. Wake up, wake up, wake up, wake up, wake up. Okay, so we got now the base. So I'm gonna turn that part off. This is what it looks like so far. Now this next part, I might have to draw this in pieces because I don't know if my friend wants to like animate them. So that'll be these little arm things. So I'm gonna go ahead, I'm gonna drop the opacity on this, and I'm gonna create another layer, and I am going to start building this up. So this is the main ball joint. And for the sake of our sanity, I'm making these super simple. Like I can put a bunch of gears and a bunch of stuff in here, but I just simply don't want to. Sorry, it keeps switching to this like super slick. I want that pencil raw look. Okay, from here, granted I started with the cone in that direction, but I'm just gonna do this. And I'm gonna swirl. Because this could be a laser beam, it could be a gun, it could be all kinds of shenanigans. It could be a drill. It looks like an Evo Labs kind of drill thing. So let's take that away. I kind of want it to be like a generic, like a generic tool. Like it might switch, maybe like the metal will like switch out and it'll have like slits on another point. And output will have like these blades will come out and allows you to blend with them. So yeah, so I kind of want these to be flexible. Okay, so we got that side. Now let's do the other side. So this is going to be my starting point. Ensure that these are consistent in continuity. There we go. So now we have that. I'm not worried about this right now. Like I said, I want it to be something like that looks like Jiffy Pop. I'm gonna call this BG. I'm gonna call this arms. And then the next bit, I'm gonna create a plate. I'm gonna make it look like a nacho. go. So we're doing that, and then I'm gonna call this popcorn. Okay, so now let's take a look at what we got. I think the only thing I still need is Scully. I'm gonna borrow him. Oh, this can go bye-bye. And let's go ahead and lock. Don't leave you there. There we go. Cool beans. I'll push you up here. So that's what we got going on so far. And then while I'm at it, I'm gonna grab these two layers and stick them in here. Because again, I always like to keep my canvas as clean as possible. Yes, so, but that's just the way that I roll. Okay, cool beans, so that looks really cool. All right, so let me refresh my drink. I need some like energy in me, so give me something. Let me get something with caffeine, and I'll be right back. BRB. Cool beans. So let's continue. Okay, now that I have this, let's go ahead and pick some color tones, shall we? Okay, so this is the kitchen. Most kitchens tend to have a very metallic, kind of sterile look to them. Professional kitchen. Yeah, so it tends to have mainly like cool, very steely look to them. Maybe with some brown overtones depending on how old it is. But okay. Let me I can do this. Alright, so first thing is first. I'm gonna go ahead and start with just the background. Create a new layer. This I'm gonna call line art. Okay, so that's that. And then I'll create a new layer right here and call this base color. Okay, and if I'm doing steely colors, I need to definitely move towards the blues. But this is a really bright, steely color. Like, it's not like super. There we go. Like, kind of lighter tone there. Okay, then I'm gonna go and select a lighter tone for the walls. And then with that, I'm gonna switch to my other pen. This is the one that I really needed. Right now, let me turn these off. This is just the background. I'm not that worried about anything else. Oh, something's loose. Where's the break? There's the break. There we go. I'm just trying to give me some of those tones right there. Okay, now this ship is crazy awesome. Like, there's no need for lighting. But I'm still gonna add some in here anyway, because it's good to have them. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna use pure white. And if this is my vanishing point back here, actually I might have to turn this off for a moment. Let me turn this back on. I'm gonna put the white lights in a separate layer temporarily. Okay, there we go. Now we have the light sources. Okay, and even this I'm probably going to push back a little bit because I don't want my eye just to be solely drawn to those. Okay, so but now we have a light source. I do need to head over here. I am going to borrow this tone. I'm going to pick something just a hair darker just for the doorway. I'm going to turn Scully off for a moment. Go, sweet. that. That's okay. I'm gonna merge these together anyway. Okay, merge selected layer. Sweet. That gives me that option right there. And now with that, I can start working on the actual surfaces here. So this is just BG color. Okay. I'll collapse that, create another layer. I'm so used to going down for Photoshop. Man, I really want a nap. Okay, so let's go and grab some of these. And keep in mind that these colors will be adjusted just to give me a starting point. I'm gonna lock this layer so I'm not messing with it. Okay, I do need this line art to be a little stronger. There we go. Okay, so do I like that? Yeah, no, not really. Let me go a little lighter on this. It's a little closer. I like it a lot better. Man, something bit me like right on the thigh. Ugh. So Texas has a really bad like mosquito problem, and it is absolutely horrible. Okay, so I kind of like that for the nice steely kitchen look. That I like that a lot better. Not a lot of contrast, but if you ever look at like professional kitchens, there isn't a lot of contrast between the objects in the kitchen and everything else. Everything's very metallic, very uniform. Oh, it's just my cat playing with a string. Kind of like that. Okay, so it gives me that right there. I do need to go to the original line art and clean this out over here, because as you can see, this makes no sense. This mask cannot overlap that mask over there. She doing Meow Meow? Yeah, you see her? She's playing with the... It's kind of hard to see her. She's guilty. I love you, Meow Meow. What you doing? What you doing? You playing with a string? There you are. There you are. I call that... That's Butthead number 1. That's Twinkles. The one you saw earlier today, the windows, that's Serafina. She's a great tabby. So, love my kitties. They're my whole world. And they drive me nuts sometimes, but I love them. So, okay, let's keep going with these colors. Okay, and I'm going to borrow this color over here. And I really want to add it to this over here. What are you doing back there? Jesus. You are going to town. Again, right now, not too worried. Actually, this right here makes more sense if I borrow this color, because the light source is closer to those. And then now we have the arms. Alright, let's go and do that. There we go, we got that right there. It's looking pretty nice. Alright. And I'm going to add a little bit of darkness to these joints. Oh, sweet. Alright, so that's coming along. And some of these right here also got that steel look to it. So again, like the metal pots and pans, man, you don't think about it when you're like a kid, but when you're an adult, you're like, man, you want stuff that's gonna outlive you. And I stand by that statement. You know, I like buying quality over quantity. I'd rather have 2 or 3 really good pots and pans that are gonna last me for a very long time versus having like 50 gajillion cheap pans any day. There you go. Sweet. Go. Cool beans. There we go. And from there, let's add some colors to these drawers. Let's go down there. In this case, I'm gonna use some of this color over here. Actually, when I think about it, this color still makes sense over here as well. One of the few spots you're gonna see probably a two-tonal in this scene. But it's kind of hard to communicate, hey, there's some depth going on here, you know? There we go. There we go. Starting to get like a nice steely kitchen look to it. Going to continue, and what's going to be the finishing touches is when I add the line art to it. That's what's going to really make it. So for this, this is going to be multiple passes right here. So this is the base of this unit right here. This is if we're looking at a rectangle, this is that side base. The front base, I'm gonna go ahead, I'm gonna borrow this tone because this is still getting impacted by the light. The internal stuff, I'm gonna borrow this tone. And at this point, there's nothing really baking in there, so that's why you don't see a lot of craziness going on in it. But I still want to highlight that there are trays in here. Just adding a little bit of flair with color. Whenever you want to give the illusion that something is not quite clear, that you can see like a silhouette of it, just not adding any definitive outlines will help that. It's done a lot in animation, a lot. So it's one of those things you just kind of pick up. Okay, this is a steel stand. So I'm going to imply that by borrowing this tone. I don't really like that brush for this part, so I might have to switch to my other pen. cool bean. Okay, it gives me that. And so for right now, I'm not worried about getting too... Think of this like second draft of a product. Okay. Alright, so with that, I can now go also do this. So now it looks like these trays are kind of hanging from this like cage frame. And then there's these items inside of it. So that's pretty much the look that I'm trying to go for right now. Okay. Not too bad, not too crazy, not too distracting, which is great. Now I still got these like gaudy picture frames back here. So it's going to be the only thing that's kind of gilded. But I got to be careful because in this case, I don't want to push the attention to the pictures in the back. So I'm going to pick, I'm probably going to stick to silver. Normally you get like goldish color, but I think for this time around I'm just going to stick to the silver-ish color for these frames. Again, if I don't like it, I could just swap it, you know? Not a big deal. Big bada boom. That stems out a little bit better. I like that. Alright, cool beans. How am I hungry again? It's 11:11. I like that better. As for this needs a little bit of a darker tone, not by much, in here. Okay, there we go. Cool beans. Right now we have actual items up in the shelf. And again, I'm trying to select colors that stick to the environment. I don't want to say it's quite monochromatic, but it's going to be monochromatic-ish. Here's where we can start adding some of the softer colors, like the box up here. Clearly not everything's going to be that beautiful steely color. This is where some of those brown tones come in. There we go. Alright, not bad. Not bad, not bad, not bad. Man, why am I so sleepy? Okay, so that gives me the base color. Okay, oh, that's the line art. It doesn't matter. Okay, so is there anything in here? Yep. Ah. Base. Mid colors. Arms color. Alright, and I am gonna borrow this tone here, but I'm gonna make this a bit darker. Alright, so my fear is that they might be blended into the background a little too much. So let's try this instead. Okay, that works out a little bit better for me at least. There we go. So I like that a lot better. Okay, and I'm gonna borrow some of this gold. And okay, so here's what I really need to do. I need to grab and turn everything else off. Okay, this is a lightning or laser, or whatever you want to freaking call it. I clearly cannot spell, as you guys can tell. All right. There we go. So with that, I got the lightning. I can go to the hands themselves, and I can do this. Because again, it's lightning. So, or I could do this. I have two versions of this. I have one with lightning and one without lightning. So let's go ahead and do that. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to duplicate this layer. And first, let's clean up the one without lightning. Or X-rays, whatever you want to call it. There we go. And then the one that does have the lightning, we're going to color the line art. That's the way to do it here. Create layer. Because I've done it. New raster. There we go. Of transparent pixels. And this allows you to pick orange. Oops. There we go. Good. Oh, you're not gonna let me do that? Interesting. So what it should be letting me do is grab, it locks all the transparent pixels. And I should be able to paint over it, but it's not allowing me to do that for some reason. But anyway. Okay, so let's see what this looks like with Scully, and I'm gonna put Scully at 100%. Okay, so this is what I'm pretty much looking for. I don't want a background that is so punchy that the character gets lost. Now, do I have to do a little more balancing? Probably, but at this moment, oh my goodness, what I really want is just to make sure that he stands out, and he clearly does. Even the yellow on the lasers is not competing with him. I might change it to a different color, but for right now, this is what I want. Okay, I think the last thing I got left is a Jiffy Bop. And I think I'm gonna take a nap after this, because I am super tired for some odd reason. No, it's not COVID. I had my booster, and that didn't affect me at all, so I'm not sure what it could be. And to make this stand out as the point of focus, I'm gonna make it red. And notice I have no other competing values minus the yellow. And then from here, even the metal is gonna be a warm metal. Or a warm-ish metal. And that doesn't look like silver. There we go. That will have to do. But with that, I think that kind of covers the gist of it. For now, again, the intent is not to make the background so punchy that the character gets lost in it. The only thing that I can't figure out why is lock transparent pixels. This should allow me to go in here and literally color this line art a different color. Yeah, there he goes. I don't know why I wasn't doing that before. There we go. Better. So if I'm really quiet, I'm just kind of trying to rebalance this a little bit. Because, see, it just kind of gets a little too dull. There we go. I think I like that better. There we go. So it's got color in it, but it's not too much that it just makes your items disappear. Which is, no, I don't want that. So if I really want to be lazy, I go right here, make my brush huge. And just make sure everything is painted with that tone. There we go. So even these are painted and they look like they fit the environment a little bit better, which is great. Okay. So now with that, I'm going to go take a nap. But anyway, guys, you have a great day and I should be back soon. I still want to paint these 3 paintings back here. I think for now, what I'm going to do is actually before I go, wake me up before I go. Go to Astrocats. Let me go to characters. Yep. And let me go to Chef Nip. So this is Chef Nip. So this is the original chef nip, and this is the current chef nip. And I mainly, you know, catnip because he's a cat, and then he's a chef, so he's nitpicky. Nothing. Okay, cool. Whatever. But I mainly just kind of want to add these like little gaudy paintings back here of him. And so let me go ahead if I do anything else. Not what I want. There we go. Now let's power that purple. And what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna imply these paintings with the chef back here. They're just gonna be implied. We don't know what's going on, but they look like these like modern art pieces. Oh, there you go. So right now we kind of have an idea what these things are, but not really. It's really a painting of him back there, and I'll probably modify this as I go. But with that, I really gotta go lay down. I feel just drained for some odd reason. But I appreciate you guys joining me. I'm hoping to start working on those other paintings a little bit later today. I said I got some things going on around my house, so long story short, a squirrel got into my walls. So yeah. Yay. All right, guys. Y'all have a great evening. All right. Bye-bye.